Hi. This is a lot different than usual, I know. So, as some of you might have seen in my community post when I explained why I didn't have a live stream or a recording, I got stuck out of state while at a friend's wedding. I had two different return home flights canceled, and I didn't get back home into the Seattle area, and this is landing, mind you, until about 8 p.m. Tuesday night. And then it took further time to get home and get settled. And by the time I basically got home, I had enough time to quickly eat dinner and then go to bed. So I lost like 2 days of my week, and as such, my normal video I had nowhere near the time to create. So here I am. Now, while I talk about this short topic because I think it's relevant to right now, I'm going to have some B-roll come up that is some footage my girlfriend shot on her cell phone from our room in Las Vegas, which is where we were when we went to my former coworker and friend's wedding. Needless to say, hopefully you guys enjoy the views. What I want to talk about is not meant to be political. I want to be super clear here. There are ongoing global events with Russia and Ukraine. I'm not going to talk about the politics about that. What I am going to talk about is how some of the sanctions will affect our hobby. So, for those who may not know, I'm sure most of you do know this, Russia supplies a large amount of oil to the global oil supply. So when it comes to things like fuel for your vehicle, for cargo airplanes, coal, natural gas, all sorts of things, Russia supplies roughly 15% of the world population, or the world's supply of fuel. And I think the 15% number might be specifically just in oil, but we'll keep this vague. And in the United States, that number is like 8%. And it's different country to country. It's going to be way, way, way more of an effect in Europe. But what this means is that transportation costs, as oil and gas and all those kind of things increase, those transportation costs are also going to increase. And that's going to affect prices worldwide because it means that the amount of fuel it takes for a boat to make it from, say, China to the United States with all sorts of things like lights and filters and all that kind of stuff, well, now it costs more to get that much fuel. So that's going to impact the shipping cost, which means it's going to affect the overall price of the items we're purchasing. Hopefully, unlike, say, the fuel we put in our vehicles, we won't feel this cost right away. But if this happens for a prolonged period, we will. And because that affects planes, it affects cars, it affects the transportation between, say, even a Florida fish farm and a distributor and then eventually your local fish store, because those prices will so directly affect them, especially the smaller the business, the stronger the effect becomes, we can expect to see price increases across our hobby pretty much universally. And this might even be more extreme for our friends out in Europe. Which, speaking of, there are lots of phenomenal fish breeders that are in Poland, the Ukraine, and in that whole area. And this can affect them quite a lot. There's a pleco breeder that Tom from TM Aquatics, and I'll link his video, specifically mentions where their facility got hit. Thankfully, no major damage to their fish or to any of the people that worked there, but still, that's kind of scary, right? Well, as we have places like the United States announced effectively an energy ban on Russia, we're seeing these huge spikes in gas prices. I mean, I saw prices over $7 a gallon in parts of California for gasoline. Well, that's going to affect like all your trucking transports and your FedExes, your UPSs, all of that shipping that transports our fish, our live plants, etc. for our hobby. And it's going to affect, of course, it affects more than just our hobby, but we have to keep in mind that The pandemic and human malware already affected fish prices because it was so detrimental to a lot of the import part of the fish hobby. This is only going to further exacerbate that. So, what I would say is if you have the space and there was something you're kind of eyeballing, you might want to get it now before prices increase. Now, I'm not trying to say go spend your money. If you can't afford it, don't spend it. Save your money. Focus on the things that matter. As prices like this go up, as it costs us more to get to work, as it costs us more to eat, and all the other things that are absolutely necessary in our lives get affected by this, be absolutely knowledgeable and critical with those things, okay? Don't risk your ability to eat or get to work or keep a roof over your head or your house warm, especially as we're in the tail end of winter in a lot of places, for fish. Okay? They're supposed to bring us peace and enjoy nature and not cause further stress. You might hear my dog whining in the background. But basically, I just want people to be aware about this. And like I said, I have so little time to create a video this week. So I wanted to create something short, just as a PSA, if you will, of be mindful. And if you can help out your local fish stores through this time, like, you don't necessarily have to spend extra, but just make sure that instead of saving yourself a couple dollars by buying on Amazon, go to your local fish store, spend that extra buck or so for that thing of food, whatever it may be, that supply. Help them so that we get to keep our local fish stores. That's one thing I will say. If you do have a few extra bucks and you're going to do it for the fish, do it that way. Help make sure your local fish stores stay around. We've already had human malware cause all sorts of haywire for a lot of small businesses. This will only add to potential problems. So try to help them where you can, but of course, don't spend money if it's going to risk your ability to keep your roof on your head, your house warm, a little bit of food in your stomach, all right? Guys, that's it. This is a real simple one. I don't want to get into like the crazy concept of like how supply and demand works, like macroeconomic stuff when it comes to the oil supply. And it's like, well, it's only 8%. Why is gas like gone up over $1 a gallon in some places or more? You know, the macroeconomics of that is a nightmare and can get into some wonky politics stuff and corporations being greedy. But the long and short of it is that basically because oil prices go up, transportation costs on everything will increase. And that will, at some point, start affecting things like our hobbies, food costs, not only for us as people, but when it comes to like our fish foods, our fish supplies, our fish themselves, or live plants, it is going to affect them. Hopefully only temporarily, but that is completely dependent upon how long the current world events go on for. So just be aware of that. If you see a sudden spike in fish prices, don't panic and think that your local fish store is just trying to gouge you. It's probably because all their prices went up too. This is going to affect a lot of us. So if you have an opportunity and you can, help your local fish store out a little bit. But otherwise, just be aware. Maybe wait a little bit on some of your bigger purchases. But for your staples and stuff, if you're just trying to save a couple bucks, maybe don't go to Amazon. Maybe help that local fish store out. Just some food for thought. Little like weird mixed PSA messaging. I know this is a terrible rambly video. I know. But we'll be back to the normal stuff next week. I will be speaking tomorrow, if you're watching this Saturday, at the Greater Portland Aquarium Society. I'll be giving my talk on plants. How to go from a horticulture awards program chump to champ. Just basically a dummy's guide on how to be good at plants. It's the other way to think about it. I'll be giving that talk down there. That's going to be tomorrow. So Sunday, the 13th of March, I will be there. You can come hang out, chatter, talk, make fun of me for giving a presentation about plants, whatever it may be. I would love to see you there. Say hi if you're there. Please, please, please come say hi. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and stay awesome.